just can't even, it can't be, I refuse, it's just crazy. Hello, my name is Korede and welcome to Vimoye, a people-led movement to build Africa. And this is Triggered, where we react to information coming from the continent together. Okay, let's go. You might want to get a cup of tea because it's gonna be a bit...
Burundi will choose its next president. There have been huge rallies with zero social distance.
The fact that no election observers will be allowed in the country to see what's going on, I think that increases the risk for election fraud, corruption, human rights violations in the run-up to the elections as well.
President Nkurunziza will be retiring with a $530,000 payoff, a luxury villa, and a lifetime salary when he leaves office. He will also be elevated to the title of Supreme Leader after he steps down. In 2015, he threw the country into a constitutional crisis when he reigned for a third term. The move sparked violent protests by opposition supporters, which morphed into reprisal attacks.
Where do we start? Where? So the story here is that Burundi is having its next general election. The current president, Pierre Nkurunziza has agreed to step down, but instead he will be the supreme guide or leader to patriotism. That will be his new title. What does that even mean? So the new president will be required to give Mr. Nkurunziza a heads up with any new policy change, anything he's going to do. It kind of has to go through this guy. It is purely on a consultation basis. So it's not that Mr. Nkurunziza can necessarily like force the new president to do this or that, but he is supposed to consult him, and it's not quite clear whether the new president has to take any advice given. Speaking as an African, I'm gonna tell you for free, there's no way that this new president will get away with not taking the current president's advice. I don't see how that's gonna work. There are uncles in the streets that will be doing big man, that ain't got no titles, that expect you to listen to them. And this one with a whole supreme leader on his head. You want to tell me that you're going to say something to him and he's going to say no and you're going to think it's going to be okay? Well, I want to see that go down. That's just me. That's just my own thoughts from my own experience of the dynamics of Africans and authority and positions and leadership. Those things aren't just for no reason. They're not there just for fun. He's not wearing the title because he just feels like wearing it. Although that could be also the case. But in reality, the title is there to tell you that this one, can I ignore me? Can I ignore me? That's what it means. Supreme leader, supreme guide. Oh, me Ogbori, I haven't heard that before. Supreme. How? The current president, Pierre Nkurunziza, has been in office for the last 15 years. It was looking a bit sticky. It was looking a bit dicey at the beginning, not gonna lie. When he took up office, he was meant to stay for a maximum of 2 terms. But unfortunately, he got a bit comfortable or some because he changed the constitution to allow him to stay for a 3rd term. Now that is not new information on the continent. We have seen that happen a number of times since these countries have gained independence. This brings us to the issue of our relationship with power on the continent. The whole point of putting together a political system is to guard against one person's ability to do whatever they feel like doing. So what is the point of the other people we elected if in the end only the president does what he wants? That's not presidency. That's kingship. It's not a kingdom. I'm hopeful. I really, really am, because there are pockets of amazing examples where democracy works on the continent. We have Botswana as an amazing example. Of course, we have Ghana as another good example of leadership. We have Ethiopia as a wonderful example of leadership. A great question was posed to me last week in the comment section, and it was the fact that many African countries have had one good leader in the past, but it's the transfer of power that creates the problem. So the next person that comes after them, unfortunately, isn't as good as the one that they left. And so it is for us to create a pool of good leaders. That is the reality. So if we can change how the next generation are set up, like the way they think, the way they view their role in society, and for them to focus not on the individual but on the community, to realize that we're so interconnected, that we need each other, that me doing well doesn't mean you won't do well. There's such a scarcity of success. Like honestly a scarcity where we think success is, there's only a small amount, a finite amount of success available, and therefore if I get it, that means you don't get it. And that story, that narrative, I believe has caused what we are seeing on the continent, where I do what's best for me because I don't really know when I'm going to eat again, or I don't really know when I'm going to get this opportunity again. So if it means I have to stab someone else in the back,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
That's not going to get us far. We cannot work when we are only out to do what's best for ourselves, for what's best for the individual. It's about the we, not about the me, you know? That's so cheesy. So the story here is that Somalia are gearing up for their first democratic election since 1969. Whoa, that's huge. That's really exciting, because we want to see more signs of democracy. We want to see democracy being done well on the continent. So this is really exciting news. A little bit more about their old system. They used to use a system called the 4.5 system. The 4.5 system was created because of the amount of bloodshed and the amount of fighting that was happening between clans in Somalia. It was so bad that even the UN was like, yeah, democracy is not really gonna work right now. The 4.5 system had the backing of the UN, just so they could stabilize the country. And it was only supposed to be in place for a short amount of time. The thing about short is that it's all relative, isn't it? So they said short, and now 51 years later, we are still looking at each other. So the interim situation ended up becoming the norm, and now they are trying to shift to something new. So the 4.5 system was created to ensure that every clan had a representative in government. So the four main clans would take up the majority of the positions in government. So all the government positions was divided between the four, and then the 0.5 represented the smaller clans, and they would have the rest of the government positions. So in a sense, everybody had representation in government. Democracy isn't something you necessarily arrive at. It's something that we're all striving towards. Even in more developed countries, democracy is something we are striving towards, where everybody's vote counts. Somalia are now moving towards a system that allows one person, one vote. So each individual will get a chance to vote, which is so exciting. The system takes into account the importance of clans, but the bit that excites me is the fact that it also ensures that 30% of the government will be women. So to ensure that there's female representation is huge. 30% is a start. I mean, women make up 50% of the population, but We'll let that slide. So they're currently at 24% representation of women, which is, let's be honest, that's hella impressive. That is very impressive, considering that the superpower of the world is also at 24%. So for them to get to up to 30%, potentially by the end of the year, hopefully we'll see that election happen. That would be exciting, very, very exciting. What I really want to bring out of this as well is that it's important for female representation because there are female issues that need to be resolved in the country as well. So we recently heard that FGM, female genital mutilation, has soared in the time of this COVID-19 crisis. And it's so important to have women who will speak out for the issues that affect other women. So statistics show that up to 98% of women in Somalia have experienced female genital mutilation. 98. I cannot believe that statistic. Like, genuinely, I refuse to believe it. I just think they just made it up, because 98%, get out. The point here is that we need women to stand up for other women. It's great to have representation, it is, but it is futile if it isn't protecting other women. We don't need just women to stand in position and do nothing. It's absolutely useless to us. We need women to be in those positions and push for change. That's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, and let me know what you thought about the topics in the comments section. And if you can't wait all the way to next week to find out what's going on the continent, follow us on Instagram, where we keep you guys posted. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any other episodes. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Vimoye is a people-led movement to build Africa, and we're starting with education. We want to improve the access to education for those on the continent, and we are taking a holistic approach to doing that. So we're not just looking for teachers, we're looking for people with so many different skills that can be a part of the building process. If that resonates with you in any way and you really want to be a part of actually changing the narrative of the continent, then please do get in touch with us. You can find us on Instagram using the @Vimoye Foundation. Together, I really do believe that we can build the Africa we've always known was possible.